Well, how about that? It's the Mad Cinemas Show. I'm Scott G.
And I'm Phil D.
So, Philip, today we're talking about Annihilation. It's so much fun.
Oh, you talking about where the comet's coming towards the Earth and Ben Affleck?
Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton are both going to be in Batman.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
the world's looping in on itself.
that's right. And the elf chick misses Ben Affleck, and Aerosmith writes a song about it.
Yeah.
Right. That one.
That
right?
one. That
Okay.
one. No. Wait, that's Armageddon.
Shit. What did we watch?
No, Annihilation.
Oh.
Yeah, you know. So anyways, but before we get into that, you need to tell me what the fuck is going on with Ewan McGregor. So here we go. It's our new segment. Philip's in the know and Scott doesn't.
Okay, so I don't want to sound shitty here in this. I just think it's a little funny because of specific things.
Okay.
But
So to clarify, like, this isn't like, he did some
no.
really heinous bullshit.
Not that I know of. I
know.
don't think he's done anything crazy. But now, of course, I don't have all the specifics.
But this situation.
But so around like the Birds of Prey time or whatever,
I gotcha.
Ewan McGregor was very much in the news because he was doing this whole like what the fuck's going on? That shit says that we only have 21 seconds remaining.
Oh no.
Space. I'll be right back with this story.
Yeah. All right, we're back after those technical difficulties.
Man, my computer wanted to tell me that I didn't have any more space, and I called it a liar.
Oh. And you proved it wrong.
That's right.
It's like you stared it down. We did some good cop, bad cop.
All right, I was lying. I do still have hard drive space. I'm sorry. But anyway, so Ewan McGregor, like when the Birds of Prey movie came out, whatever that long stupid title is, he had a whole bunch to say about women's rights and equality and making sure that everything's fair and all that stuff, and good on him. Absolutely not saying anything negative about that, but he was extremely preachy about said stuff. Right, so it's not so much the message
that he was trying to convey.
It's just he got real like, man, come on, like, duh, I got it, equal rights.
More of a tone.
It was more of a tone thing, and it seemed like he was being so like self-congratulatory. Look, I'm in this female power movie. And this actually feeds into the movie that we're going into because it's a completely female driven cast that I think isn't fucking some kind of like, hey, look, it's a chick flick.
Yeah,
it's not doing that at all, and it's a good ass movie,
and it's so good.
Anyway, because fuck Birds of Prey. But anyway, the
haven't seen it. I don't have an opinion.
He got all preachy, and that's whatever. But it was cringy, and now he is getting divorced by his wife. She is laying down the hammer and taking like 75% of all of his money.
Jesus.
They were like equating it to like she basically got the majority of what he made on like all of the Star Wars movies plus like a couple of other and it's like, oh my God. So she has completely been raking him over the coals, and I just think it's really funny because he took this stance online and tried to make himself out to be the good guy. He thought he had the high ground.
Right? Yeah.
He thought he had the high ground. He didn't. He did not have the high ground, and now he's on the shores of Mustafar without 2 hands and a foot, because that's 75% right there. Okay, so he got the Anakin treatment. That's why I think this is particularly funny.
So he's gonna come back as Vader's. He's gonna come back as a samurai cyborg.
It's gonna be yeah. Well, you thought you had the high ground, didn't you, Obi? You did not have the high ground in this situation.
Oh no!
Shouldn't have jumped. I just wanted to make a Star Wars joke.
That's really all this was, leading to this stupid Star Wars joke.
Great. Yep. That was it.
All right, cool.
So now leading into
now I'm in the know.
So now leading into our good chick flick.
Yeah.
Annihilation. Which I wouldn't even consider a chick flick. It just has a mostly
female-led cast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're awesome.
Yeah. And I think that's the main takeaway is just like, it's not even that they are female. These are just really, like, 4 really good actors in these leading roles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. The leading roles are all good. I mean, even Oscar Isaac is great.
Oh, absolutely.
Because he's really the only other male, like main character. He's the only male main character.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you have
the interviewer guy.
Yeah.
What's his name, man? He's been in so many things.
He's
always in sci-fi. I don't know why this guy's always in sci-fi.
Benedict Wong.
Okay, yeah, Benedict Wong. Yeah,
because he's in Doctor Strange.
Okay, yeah,
probably the more recent, better known.
He's in one of the little prequels to the new Blade Runner. Remember the one?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, where he's proving the replicant thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and that one was really good.
It's a good one.
But yeah, so Annihilation came out in 2018. Won a lot of awards for its visual presentation and like just the audio design.
Yeah,
which is like absolutely deserving. Like, this movie doesn't look like anything else.
And it has sex with your ears at the
end.
Man, it just this has to be like, I bet in 2018 this was the most sought after synth tone in the entire world. Just everyone was like, yeah, like, yeah, that God.
Now I will say, okay, so I like the way that the music feels for this movie.
Yeah,
you know, I think it's very appropriate. I think it sets the right level of, like, you know, like emotion for each scene.
It makes you feel uncomfortable when it wants to. But it also makes you feel serene and relaxed
when it wants to.
Yeah.
You know, but criticism, I do think it's still like of this time. You know, it's nothing.
Other than that one,
it's not
thing.
Really memorable for
other
real,
than that one.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's
saying.
what I mean by that is, like, I feel like soundtracks and movies haven't been quite as, you know, memorable and hum-alongable to. Is that a word?
Oh yeah.
But
yeah, because I mean, like, really, I'm not sure that I completely agree with this, but I almost think that the Gladiator theme was the last great movie theme.
I can get behind that.
As far as
I'm sure that pinnacle. And it's not that
there's been others. There's
been some cool ones, and even the stuff that I'm kind of like downplaying, like, I do like, because it is more. It's less of a this is a nice little, you know, thing, and it really tries to get into the headspace of the scene.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like nowadays is what a lot of composers are trying to do.
Yeah, which is cool. Sound design too,
because it feels like more sound design,
especially
I guess.
with Annihilation.
Yeah, especially rather than composing.
Absolutely.
And that's not a bad thing at all. I'm just pointing this out. Hey, this is something that, you know.
Yeah, it's not as other than the one lick, the
yeah.
thing,
well, and there's
really
like a little acoustic guitar part that they play in some of the more open foresty scenes.
Yeah, totally.
Mean? You know, which I really like. That's a nice little touch.
But it is more sound design. But I think that sound design works so well to this particular film.
Absolutely.
You know, you don't need hooks in this one per se, because you want it to build the tension.
Absolutely.
Maybe that sound design situation comes from the horror aspect of the film, because I didn't think of it as being a horror film until this time.
Yeah.
Because it's not scary. It's not a horror film like that.
I don't know, man. It's a different kind.
It's a different kind of scary. That's
scary.
What I mean.
You know what I mean? It's not like this thing. I think it only has one real jump scare, and I wouldn't even call it much of a jump scare. It's just kind of surprising.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
But there's some body horror in it. You know, there's some good body horror.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
Cutting dude's stomach open, and
I mean the situations that they find themselves in, just the unnerving atmosphere, this oppressive, like, just it feels like you're in a familiar, comfortable blanket, but it's too hot and you can't get it off. You know,
that sucks.
Like, I mean, it's just like this would be comfortable, but there's something,
balls.
there's something really unsettling about this situation, and it's the kind of horror that I really, really like right now. Because don't get me wrong, I love me some good old popcorn, jump out and scare you shit. There's been some good movies there, but this is the kind of stuff that like just gets into your bones. It like digs into your soul. You know?
Yeah, and the dreamlike nature of it and the presentation of the whole thing also kind of digs into you, because the surrealist sections of it, the things that don't make sense in the real world, but they make sense in the dream world that happen in this. You know, it reminds me a lot of that whole thing. I love dreamscape imagery. I love that psychedelic imagery that it has to it. I think that I just think there's a lot of really creative potential with that. Yeah, you know. You know what I fucking love? That flower section. That's
all when they're walking up to the pier or whatever. Yeah.
They made it look so cool, dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because, I mean, like, looking at that thing, I understand that in the real world, they had to take a bunch of plants and sew them together.
Right.
But it looks like one plant. It looks so cool, dude.
Well, dude, like the plant people that they find later in the movie.
Those are beautiful.
Those were gorgeous. But again, there's something really unsettling about the fact that they are people-shaped.
It's unsettling. You know? That's right.
And that's really what it is. And it's like Natalie Portman's character says, like at some point during one of the interrogation scenes, I think he asked one of the guys
trying to destroy it.
No. He was talking about like trying to describe what she actually saw, and he asked, you know, it was monstrosities, and she was just like, not all of the time. Some of it was very beautiful.
Yeah.
You know?
Or nightmares. That's what he said.
Yeah, nightmares is,
Not all the time. Yeah. Some of the time, nightmares. Like that bear.
Oh, dude, fuck that bear. Dude, fuck zombie bears. That's a terrible idea. That's almost as bad as gorilla cops.
Fuck a gorilla cop, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Fuck that. No. Nobody's breaking the law anymore.
Nah, dude.
Shit.
Maybe that's what we gotta do.
Have gorilla cops.
I
mean, I'm okay with RoboCop.
Yeah. Robot cops, totally fine with those.
No. You misunderstand me.
RoboCop. RoboCop
I mean,
specifically, not just we're
gonna like carve up Peter Weller and put him in a metal suit. Sorry, buddy. I know you weren't briefed on this.
It's for the greater good.
Dude, come on. You've seen Detroit. You know, it's exactly like predicted.
It's kind of like the rest of the world right now.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Like everywhere else.
Yeah.
We just need a RoboCop for every city, right? Or a Chappie. How about a
Chappie?
Okay.
I don't know about a Chappie.
You don't like Chappie?
Chappie's a little.
It's Vicus.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I like Vicus and all, but Chappie doesn't really seem as reliable.
I agree with you. Chappie might accidentally shoot you too.
Right. But anyways, back to Annihilation.
I think you've missed something. You
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
It's our segment.
Uh-huh.
Philip, what had happened?
See, this one's real simple. See what happened, guys, is a bunch of ladies walked into a big old soap bubble and go crazy.
I did notice this time, because the first couple of times I watched this movie, I kept trying to figure out, it's like, what does that shimmer remind me of? There's something that, like, just the color palette in general.
Soap bubble.
It's soap bubble. It's a fucking soap bubble.
It's that iridescence. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And it looks great.
That's why they have the holographic DNA.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So
put that up there with your
Natalie
Charizard.
Yeah.
I got a Mewtwo and a Charizard and my blood sample, and they're all holographic.
Oh man, you got some shinies. You got some shinies blood.
I'm sorry, foil. That's
foil. Right, they're foil. They're foil blood right there. Foil. But anyway, so Natalie Portman plays this biologist, okay, who studies, like, well, of course, she studies cells. You know.
Yeah.
And at the beginning of the movie, she's giving this lecture on cancer cells.
Yeah.
you know,
the division of the cell and all
right, exactly. And there's this whole like through line about like the duality of things, and throughout the movie, which I find really interesting. I'm probably gonna say a lot of stuff that I don't fully understand, because I don't feel like after 3 times seeing this movie that I even fully understand like what it's actually trying to say. I've got bits and pieces.
What Scott's trying to say is a pretentious warning.
Pretentious warning right here.
Pretentious warning.
Fuck a spoiler warning.
This is a pretentious warning.
This is a pretentious warning.
If you guys don't want to hear us thumb our buttholes, then you should fast forward.
Great. All right, so now that that's out of the way. But yeah, no, there's this whole like duality between like literally everything throughout this movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you know, really specifically that deer thing.
Oh man, that shit's so cool.
Yeah.
I also, you know, taking into account what you were saying, how the one deer is all beautiful and pristine, and then the second one looks kind of gnarly and mossy and maybe even damaged to some degree.
Yeah.
Like maybe that is the duality of the life and death situation as well.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah. Well, it's
evil twins.
Evil twins. Yeah, or it could just be evil twins.
Everybody's just flexo.
Yeah. This is Bizarro soap bubble.
That's what it is. It's Bizarro soap.
This is Bizarro soap. But yeah, but that goes into this whole idea of everything being new, you know? Like I was saying before, and hopefully I don't mix up the words, but like there's this whole idea of not being the same and being accepting of change, and you know, you're not sure what new means. Only you only understand the concept of new when it's retroactive.
Well, we were talking about the way that, you know, the story is kind of like the stages of loss.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely. Yeah, because I mean, well, like I feel like by the end of this movie, and I do want to talk about the plot a little bit more, but I don't feel like the plot is really the purpose of this movie.
Yeah, I don't think so either, actually. You know, the plot's merely there to give them a reason
to facilitate
to get
these
everything.
ideas.
Because it kind of doesn't even matter what the fuck happens as far as how they get in there.
And
or
what the shimmer actually is.
It doesn't matter.
Or whether
at
or
all.
not they're the, you know, real person that they started the journey with. Because, because like they aren't the same person.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's the real person or if it's the, you know, duplicate or shimmer duplicate. It doesn't matter. They're not the same person either way.
It's just about the anomaly.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's what makes it so cool to me. So, a film that this thoroughly resembles, right? I mean, to a degree that you could almost call it a reimagining.
Alex Garland absolutely saw this film.
Yeah,
you know, is heavily influenced.
Yeah.
Well, because what were you gonna say? Stalker.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
Tarkovsky's Stalker.
Well, just Tarkovsky.
Is it Tarkovsky? Tarkovsky.
Tarkovsky. It's Tarkovsky.
Tarkovsky. That's what I thought.
I think.
Yeah. Well, anyway,
if we're wrong, tell us in the comments.
Yeah. It's Solaris and Stalker.
Well, I would say I mean, yes, very specifically Stalker, but like Tarkovsky just in general.
Yes.
Like that's who Alex Garland feels like to me the most. It's like a modern day. He's like a modern day Tarkovsky, you know, because he's making these really heady, like, I mean, extremely sci-fi, but like almost pseudo science fiction, you know, kind of stuff, like how we would think about it.
Yeah,
like it's just real heady stuff where like it's not really about like
the events that take place.
Yeah,
this guy is the bad guy, and this guy's the. There's none of that.
No,
there's none of that at all. Even when you might,
it's very ambiguous.
Yeah, even when you might think there's like this. Oh, hey, this is the enemy.
Yeah, absolutely.
It flips it on you, and you realize, well, no, it's a copy of her, and it's just and like the way that the interviewer kind of is talking to her about like, well, what did it want? And she's like, well, it didn't. I don't think it wanted anything.
It didn't want. It was new.
It just existed.
Exactly.
And she burned it all. So think about that too. Like, potentially this was just an anomaly that started making an entire new. This is a difficult thing to talk about.
Well, and
here, right?
and that goes back to the duality. So the
Right.
two deer.
Okay.
So that to me, when you see shit like that, it's like, okay, you have a like, and whatever. We've already had the pretentious warning, but
yeah.
maybe like that's potential.
Okay.
You could either get a good new or a bad new.
Which is the duality.
Which is the duality in it.
Okay, I got you.
And
Man.
she burned her
then,
choice in the matter.
But then,
she burned her choice in the matter.
Well, oh, whoa. Okay, well then this is really weird because if you think about it, the techie chick, I can't think of like what her thing is.
Yeah,
she's the chick that's from Thor.
Yeah. She's Valkyrie.
She's cool. I like her in most of the things she's in.
She's a great actress.
She's awesome.
Man.
I like her in this
Man,
too. I really like her character in this. I love it. I'm going to say that
Thompson.
too. Okay. Well, all of them in this movie really do play their role in the group very well.
Absolutely.
Who's the heavy weapons chick? What's her name?
She is.
Because I've seen her in a bunch of stuff too. I like her.
Gina Rodriguez.
Yeah, I like Gina Rodriguez.
Yeah, she's good, and she's really good in this.
Totally.
Going back to the this. There's a lot of metaphor in this movie, but one that we picked up on is just the stages of grief.
Yeah, well, because she's complete denial.
She's denial.
As soon as she sees anything weird, she's like, "That's a trick of the light, man." I've been picking
completely
people up on the
trying
side of
to
the road
justify
forever.
it, constantly trying to rationalize,
exactly,
denying that anything, not denying that weird shit isn't going on, just not accepting it in any meaningful way, which is why she gets mauled by a zombie bear.
Big old faceless zombie bear.
Jeez. That thing is fucking terrifying.
Yeah, that part's really and it's unsettling with the way it talks. Like, why the fuck does it just latch onto a old girl's shoulder?
It's trying to get a reaction out of them.
God, because that's all it wants is their fear, so that it can start eating them.
Yeah, that's
because it doesn't want to eat. It's not hungry.
No,
you can tell it's not doing that.
It is only reacting towards you.
Yeah.
With what you're doing,
which is also a symbolism for the entire world, right?
Absolutely.
It's only reacting to you. So this is what I was getting at with the techie chick, right?
Yeah.
So she poses an interesting thing about how the one girl wants to fight.
Oh yeah, where what is it? Ventress. That's the other. Yeah,
Ventress is the leader of the group.
Absolutely.
And she.
But she wants to. Well, because that was a good quote. I was actually going to bring that one up.
Yeah, she wants to.
She wants to face it.
She wants to face it. The other chick wants to fight it.
Natalie Portman's character wants to fight it, and
I don't think she was saying she wanted to fight it.
She was like, Ventress wants to face it. You want to fight it, and I don't think I want either one of those. Because she was talking to her. She was talking to Natalie Portman.
Is that what she said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me pull the quote up because again. But what were you saying about that?
Well, options.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, but I think that still ties into my point. It's just so what you were saying. What I was getting at is those are two options. She is going, I have my own free will, and I'll choose a third option, which is just to become it. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then
accept it.
Yeah, to accept it. But
accept
then
the change.
Natalie Portman, she chooses a fourth option.
Deny herself the choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she completely destroys everything.
Exactly, because she's fighting to not change.
It's crazy, because it becomes a new thing after that.
This new world scares her so much. She's so afraid of losing what she has.
Yeah.
What she doesn't understand is by the beginning of this movie, she's already lost it.
Dude. Well, I think she does understand that, though, dude.
But she's trying to fight it.
So okay, here's another good one. When you're talking about the whole the perspective that we have now that we've already seen the movie a couple of times.
Yeah.
When you see the way that the beginning of the movie is, it feels very dirty in a couple of spots because that
what's happening in the plot, and like what we were saying at the beginning after she gets done with the lecture, there's this one guy who look him up. Should be up. But he like is talking to her, you know, and it's obvious that she just kind of wants to get away from him, but he's like inviting her to like a barbecue.
David Gyasi?
Yeah, he's really good too.
He totally is.
Very little screen time in this movie, but you know, it's not about that.
Yeah.
Anyways, but
I was looking at the other ones he was in. Yeah, man, him and Interstellar, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that was really good.
Why didn't you sleep?
But like, and when you're watching it the first time, you're kind of seeing this and you're just kind of like, oh, well, she's kind of being, you know, really, really, really rude, and he's not and there's obviously some tension there, but when you watch it a second time knowing what's going on, he comes off very antagonistic.
Totally. Like it's like he's trying to confront her and be like, hey, you need to come to a barbecue to keep up appearances because my wife's going to find out we're fucking.
Yeah.
And that kind of seems like the feeling.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah. And you don't sense that at all the first time you watch it. You're just like, okay, he's being a little weird.
Well, even in the scene where it shows him fucking and she's pretty much breaking it off, you know, he comes off very like almost guilt trippy, like trying to explain it away, like trying to like really trying to justify it, but justify it in the way that like kind of shames her into
prick, dude.
Yeah,
what
into doing
prick.
it. Yeah.
You know, she thinks he's dead at this point. Wait, or is
she thinks that her husband is either dead. He's been missing in action.
Yeah, he was already missing in action, and she knows that he knows.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
And then he's trying to guilt
they
trip
didn't
her about the
necessarily
fucking
leave
situation.
on the best terms.
Yeah, I love that line where he's like, "Yeah, you know, it's not me you hate, it's yourself." And she's like, "No, David, it's you too.
I hate you too."
I hate
and that's
you too.
like very good, like phrasing, right? And I love it. Dude.
No, David, I hate you too.
So fucking
Yeah. So her acting.
Absolutely, yeah. Because going in, for some reason, I was just like, man, I don't know how I feel about Natalie Portman. Well, this is why. Because she is one of those actors that when she's on, dude, she is fucking on and one of our greatest living actors. Mm-hmm. Okay? Mm-hmm. But when she is off, whoo.
It's almost like she doesn't care at all.
Woof.
Is that how you feel?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Like, you can kind of tell, you know? But in this movie, she is fucking Donkey Kong, man.
As far as for modern performances, this one's probably my favorite. I really liked her in Black Swan.
Yeah.
I really like that movie in general. That's a Darren Aronofsky film. If you guys haven't seen it, it's a good one. And then, I mean, The Professional is still my favorite role. But,
yeah,
but
absolutely.
It almost doesn't count because she was very young.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like she's amazing in that role. Don't get me wrong. But
absolutely,
she's done so much since then. But guess what?
Much better.
Oh
since then.
But guess what isn't better than any of those?
What's that?
Her is Amidala.
Yeah, that's a little.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Padme is that's like a 3 or 4.
Yeah, it's real good. Well, and Jane Foster.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, like I hope she does great in the next Thor. I really do.
Totally.
I rooting for you. Do a good job. You know, because that's potentially a good character. Just the last 2 outings have been rather lackluster. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, they've been like, well, do you care? Do you care you're in this movie?
Yeah, no, yeah.
This movie, however, she cared.
It's real. Yeah, well, and that's what I was saying.
Every
like,
bit of performance,
dude. All of the lead actors, like Alex Garland, really seems like he knows how to get the best performance out of you know, out of his actors.
The leader, I can't think of that actress's name either. The Ventress.
Yeah.
So her, like, she's definitely one of the first time I watched it. I was like, oh, her acting fucking blows in this. Jennifer Jason Leigh. Yeah. She's in like The Machinist and like a bunch of stuff. But she
Hateful Eight.
Yeah, dude. Oh, dude.
Yeah, dude.
She's a nasty bitch in that one. But she you know, she seems like she's just checked out of this film. And no, her character is checked out of fucking life.
Yeah, out of everything.
Except for the shimmer.
Yeah, that's it. All she cares about, all she can think about is getting to that lighthouse.
And she does. Yep.
And then she has no eyes.
Dude, when
she ain't got no fucking eyeballs.
What I was telling you about this, man, because this shit
is creepy as fuck.
It really makes me think of Bloodborne, okay? Because there's this whole thing with Bloodborne where, you know, the cosmic horror side of things, right? This is feeding in. I mean, it's all Lovecraftian.
And this is absolutely cosmic horror.
Cosmic horror.
Yeah.
It really is. It creeps up on you, but then once it gets there, it's like, oh, this is
Dude,
infected my
hooks
brain.
In. Yeah. That's
So,
why people go mad in these stories most of the time.
Because the prospects that they're throwing at you are they're heavy. They're heavy. They weigh heavily upon you.
Indeed.
And so that's actually part of the thing within Bloodborne. So the idea is that you're there are these two opposing schools, right? And one of them believes that they need to drink the blood of this beast deity to become beasts themselves and put themselves more baseborn and become basically the earth. I am the earth, right?
Right.
But then the other part of them think that they need to learn from these deities rather than ingesting them and becoming them. And instead, they're trying to put humanity on the same level as these beings.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's almost like we're trying to make ourselves into old ones.
Right. Exactly.
And
without actually having to turn into old ones.
Yeah. But they're going to lose their humanity by doing so. Still, you know, they become something greater.
So it's kind of it doesn't really matter. You're losing your humanity anyway.
And it's kind of like Ventress here, you know what I mean? And there's this very specific line from the guy that's of the school that says this thing, and he sought to line his mind with eyes, you know?
Yeah.
And that's always been the one that sticks in my brain, and that's very much Ventress's. She is Willem from Bloodborne. She is willing to sacrifice every bit of her being because she needs this esoteric knowledge. There's always one of her in the Lovecraft story, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Someone who just will not be satisfied, cannot be satiated by anything except the knowledge.
I need the knowledge. I need to know all of it, you know?
Yeah, and I am willing to sacrifice myself, my well-being, and my mental fortitude to do so.
And I think that is the coolest thing about this fucking, you know, movie when it boils down to it is just that they really did modernize the classic Lovecraftian group going into the terrible thing and then witnessing the cosmic horror.
Yeah.
But they spun it into a really cool sci-fi surrealist, you know.
Just beautiful fucking color palette. Just something that you honestly wouldn't be able to look away from.
Yeah.
You know?
Don't let the movie bore you. Because I could see some people like being like, well, there's not a lot happening, or this seems a little vague, or something like that.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of the reviews that I read, because this movie really is kind of like 50-50.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously on the more professional critic side, this was like hailed as like just fantastic. But as far as like the public side, a lot of the reviews that I read were just like, this is confusing. This is just too confusing. I don't understand anything that's going on.
Yeah, it's cosmic horror for you.
Yeah, and
that's
and that's not what the movie's really about. And that's kind of the point that we've been kind of trying to get about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
it's
people
about
don't understand the plot, and
Yeah.
it's like you don't need to understand the plot. You don't need to know where the shimmer come from or what it was here for. That's not the point.
So, this makes me wonder because wow. Okay. So that Scorsese thing about the whole, he doesn't think that Marvel movies are good movies at all because they're just roller coaster rides. And I know you giving me the whatever face. I'm also say whatever.
Yeah, but no. I know I know this is leading to a point. So I get it. Yeah,
it's like, oh, fuck eyebrows over there.
Yeah, right.
But he he has this whole where they're just amusement park rides, right?
Right.
So I know him and Tarantino and a lot of these classical directors, they to put them in the same spot. That's just I'm saying they like wordy, they like exposition driven, they like that kind of story.
Yeah,
they like that whole thing.
It's just a different form of storytelling.
So and it makes you wonder if he would feel that way about a movie like this. Well, I didn't understand what was going on. Did you understand what was going on? I don't know. Maybe someone could tell me. Fucking Scorsese, he talks all quick.
Right.
I love him.
All right, eyebrows.
Yeah, all right, calm down, eyebrows. But he, it makes me wonder whether there are some people that, like, because someone didn't explain the plot to them in the story, they're like, I don't get what's going on. I don't understand this.
Well, and I'll be completely honest, because I saw this in theaters.
Yeah, I remember you called me.
And I called you right afterwards, and I was just like, yeah, so I saw Annihilation. Well, cool. Well, was it good? I don't know. I felt like how I literally felt like how you feel when you come out of the shimmer.
Man, yeah.
I have no idea how to explain or even feel about what I just witnessed.
Man, see, when I watched it the first time, I felt like I came off of an acid trip. Is the way I felt, because I had this like, wow, I don't know how to describe how I feel about that, but I enjoyed it. I knew I liked it. I knew I loved it. I knew that it was a thing that I was just like, wow, okay, I'm watching this again. Probably a couple times.
And that's another thing, man. This is a movie that gets better the more you watch it.
Yeah, because it's got subtlety. Speaking of which, there's something we haven't brought up, which we just both kind of were paying attention to this time.
Yeah.
The tattoo.
Yeah. So, that never really gets explained either, but it seems like it shows up on the people once the switch gets flipped almost. Yeah.
Once they've been taken over by,
Yeah.
So here's a funny thing
or at
about
least
it, right?
Once the change starts to occur.
It looks like a figure 8, but it's an Ouroboros.
I wonder if it's more okay.
So,
yeah, exactly.
So it's an Ouroboros. If you look at it close, it kind of looks like a snake.
Yeah, it looks like a snake eating its own tail.
It's spun into a figure 8 because it's dividing into the two. So it's
it's dividing into two, and it's also showing
of change.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
So here's another thing that I just kind of thought about. So Josie, the tech girl.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
She doesn't get one.
She doesn't.
No, and neither does Ventress.
No, I don't see one on either of them.
Yeah, it's only on what's her name, Gina Rodriguez.
Yeah.
And Natalie Portman. Yeah.
Sorry, we're mixing like character names with actor names. We're shitty. So
yeah, it's fine. You know who we're talking about.
I
believe in the listener.
You just trust us.
Yeah. But anyways, those two get the tattoo, and those two are the ones fighting it the most, I think. So I think that's
well. I would say Natalie Portman also has the stages of grief or loss or whatever in front of the being itself.
Yeah,
it takes her a second, but it's the whole she denies it, she fights against it, it fights her back, she accepts it, she becomes in control of the situation. She then gets rid of the problem. But she gets rid of more than just it. She gets rid of all of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Does it show her leaving? It just shows her walking away.
No. She walks away from like the burning lighthouse, and then she's, in the room.
Well, all that imagery is beautiful.
Absolutely. Dude, I love those glass trees.
The glass trees, that iridescent beach, dude. Oh my god.
That's probably my favorite scene, dude.
I love this movie's like use of color. It's what you were saying as far as the lighting is it's not harsh.
Oh, when they're in the shimmer?
Yeah. Yeah. It's not abrasive. It's not like you're like, but it's like everything's just really turned up.
Yeah, it's really unsettling.
Yeah.
But it's fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
But it feels very oppressive.
Well, it's like psychedelic though. It's like the idea of like or for those that haven't maybe done that, when you are at the dentist.
When you hold your breath for a long time.
When you stay awake too long at the dentist.
Yeah.
The way the lights look, like that's kind of what
pretty
we're
much
about.
Yeah, that's it. That's how it feels, but it's beautiful.
It's beautiful. It's fucking gorgeous. And I think for a movie that has everything turned up, they still don't overuse it.
No.
It's very subtle where they put the little shimmers of things, and then the light in that one scene is very expressive, but that's because it's got that hangover feeling.
Absolutely.
I also really like the way that they do the color shift between the two timelines. So there's the before time,
the before time,
in the way ago. There's the time when her husband and her are still together, and I guess having amicable
relations.
Yeah. And so they that's all like nice and warm colored.
Yeah, and comforting, and there's a lot of like
good.
close-up shots,
Yeah.
so you can really get into like liking these characters, and sympathizing with them. Yeah.
But
and
then
some of the most natural acting in that. But
dude, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, but then when everything else changes, it's that cold color,
when it's that
and you
flip.
immediately are like, okay, well, this is weird.
Yeah.
I still think the best scene for her, like as far as acting wise, is the scene where she first sees her husband again.
Oh,
and he
yeah,
walks in
and
the
she,
house.
yeah, and she just breaks down and like, yeah.
So I thought about something.
I like. Okay, so I enjoy that scene.
Yeah.
But I think the one better that made it click for me, it's just like, oh shit, no, Natalie Portman's a fucking great actress, is when the scene after that, when she's talking to him at the table, and they have that great shot where you see
with
their
the glass.
hands through
and
the
it's
glass.
doing the refractions,
so
it's messing with everything. So it's a really that's great.
God.
Well, especially because as soon as she realizes that something's off, she recoils, but she recoils as slowly as possible, so as not to
funny
raise
because you
suspicion.
see her at the beginning of the scene, she's angry at him.
She's like, "What the fuck's wrong with you?"
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden
And
it becomes
then-
like, "Oh no, you need help. I'm sorry, sweetheart. I didn't mean to do this." And then it
she
becomes like,
shifts it.
"Wait a second.
Yes.
Are you even Kane?"
Yeah, something's not right.
Yeah. And dude, that little bit of acting, yeah, you're right. It is top notch,
Dude,
man.
Fuck yes.
Yeah, and she sells it so hard with that, which is funny because a lot of the rest of the movie, she's a little bit more laid back because the experience is so heightened that
absolutely.
it's probably too much for her to handle.
Absolutely. Her eyes are dilated through the rest of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Man, she's seeing everything. And trying her best to process it as quickly as possible. She's on that like survivor's high.
Exactly, yeah.
Through most of the rest of this movie.
So, she, after burning down the lighthouse, everybody else is changed and dead, I guess, gone. Let's just say,
There's something new.
There's something new, or mutilated by a bear.
Yeah, it's one of those two things. That's your options.
Either beautiful
in this
flower
universe.
people, eyeless ladies, or mutilated by a bear. So
at least you got options.
You do have options. That's nice.
Yeah.
So the she gets out of here, and when she's in this quarantine, being questioned, it turns out that her husband survived. So Kane survived, came back to life.
Yeah, because he was like, what is it? Towards the beginning of the movie,
and he starts spitting up blood.
Yeah, and he's got like a bad internal bleeding. But then after the shimmer, once the bubble got popped,
somebody walked up,
he got
that
better.
bubble.
Yeah. Somebody popped that bubble.
and then he returned basically back to normal. And there's this weird moment at the end where, she sees him again. And she's basically like, so you're not Kane, are you? And he goes, well, I don't guess I am.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. And then he's like, but you're Lena, right? And they hug. And in that, to me, I feel like that is the real her, and that is not the real him.
Right. Yeah.
But I don't think it matters that he's not the original Kane, because I think that this guy is the same person because he's a copy.
Yeah.
Which is funny because that means that she might be coming to the conclusion that she killed herself.
Well, it's
killed
again.
herself,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, that's again going back to like the duality and the inevitable and like totally ground shaking change, creating something new.
Yeah.
It really doesn't matter whether or not she's real or not. Again, like
it really
the plot
does
does not matter.
Yeah.
It's about what you are seeing and hearing.
How do you
means.
feel about
How do you
this?
feel
Yeah.
about this? And the way I look at that scene now after seeing it a couple times is just like, oh, it doesn't matter who they are.
It's acceptance.
They are both new beings, just based on the fact that they went through this.
And
because they experienced change.
She lets it happen.
Yeah,
dude.
and there's no precedent for what the new is going to be. So it's kind of scary, but it's, by the end I feel like they've just accepted that they are just completely new people.
Yeah.
Anyway, And that's what I take from that scene. And that's why I think the ending is so good.
And nobody else understands their position. So, do you think they let those motherfuckers out? Or do you think they're going to be...
I think they're going to be there for a while.
They're going to be in a bubble for the rest of their life.
Yeah. That's, that's some ET shit, man.
Yeah.
They ain't going nowhere.
It sucks. Because I was thinking about that, too. Like, maybe they let them be together, I guess, but...
No. I mean, they could be together.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, at least they get to hang out, but
they ain't going home.
They're not going home, man. That's it.
And even if they do, they're going to be under such fucking surveillance, Man. So anyways, so is there any particular scene or any visual thing that you saw or really anything at all about this movie that stands out to you the most?
Well, okay, so I was saying the thing about the flowers.
Yeah.
Right? The flowers really is one of the best things that sticks out in my mind immediately.
Yeah.
And I would kind of say that about the mutation in general. The mutation of all the little things is what I remember immediately. The way the deer's antlers look like a cherry tree. The way that the inside of the alligator's mouth looks like a lamprey.
Yeah.
The way that, all the moss has
the bear doesn't have a face.
The no-face bear that can mimic your sounds like a predator. Scary.
Yeah.
Right. But, those things. But, come on, Scott. You fucking know the scene that sticks in our head. And it's the one that we haven't even really addressed, which is when she sees it. That's the scene of this movie, and I don't even know whether I really want it. Like, she sees it. If you haven't seen this movie, go watch Annihilation. Even for just this
one scene,
it's like,
dude.
It's like less than 10 minutes of a scene.
Absolutely.
Maybe
some of the most beautifully intense,
amazing imagery, amazing sound design, everything in this scene.
Every part of the movie that was already doing really good.
Somebody leaned on the controls and they
put
all
it up to 11.
Turned up all the way, and then they fell asleep for a little bit and woke up and went, shit, oh man, turned everything down.
Yeah. I would say that's the scene that sticks out to me the most.
That's the scene.
That's it.
It is the crux of the movie, which is a great place to put it. Which, the pacing of this film is fucking great because of that.
Absolutely.
Because it builds to this point of excellence, of just pure excellence. And then it gives you an ending that might not be satisfying the first time.
Might not,
but is more satisfying upon more watches.
Yeah.
And it might not be for you as far as the way that whole thing's laid out.
Yeah.
But even if it isn't, you cannot deny that one scene as being one of the most interesting and unique scenes
absolutely
in modern sci-fi.
Absolutely agree.
Yeah, it's like you were saying, it's that 2001 A Space Odyssey moment.
Yeah.
It's that, here it is. Here's the epiphany. Here's the...
You are in the void.
That's right, man. Yeah. It's the cosmic horror that is even better than a big giant octopus creature.
Yeah, big octopus face, man.
This is not a demon. It's fucking unfathomable. That's
Absolutely.
What this thing is.
Yeah.
This is just okay.
It is.
It is.
Yeah.
That is.
That is. And it is.
And it is. Ooh, and it is brilliant. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the scene, and that's the reason that you watch this movie, and everything building up to it does a very good job of doing so.
Leading you to it. Yeah.
This is potentially my favorite modern sci-fi flick.
I could agree with that.
Yeah. Like, it's up there with the new Blade Runner.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I'm really hoping that Dune is up there in this same category.
Man, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed we can fucking watch the movie
at some point. Yeah,
man. Like, okay, so if we have an actual like here's Dune coming out in a theater, then me and Scott are gonna go into the woods where there's a theater, and we're gonna go watch where there's nobody in the fucking thing.
That's right.
I bet they'll X off like every 3 seats.
I'm sure they will.
You know what I mean? We can't even sit next to each other.
Yeah.
Hey, Scott, you like the movie?
It's all right.
So if you share popcorn, you'll have to be like Dalsim or something like that.
Yeah.
Mr. Fantastic, if you don't get the Dalsim reference, I'll help you out.
Switch it up.
Switch it up.
We've got a few options.
Well, in a rubber band. You know Rubber Band Man?
I do know Rubber Band Man.
You know.
But anyways,
that's the thing though. We're gonna watch Dune and we're gonna hopefully do a Dune the night of. But fuck, man, it might have to be us at home renting it for $30.
Yeah,
which I'll do it.
I'm fine with that.
We'll watch Dune, buddy.
We're gonna make this happen.
But
Dune is happening.
If you are a sci-fi fan, if you would say that
if you're a movie fan,
if you're a person who doesn't have to have a super obvious plot, because or not even the plot. It's not that the plot isn't obvious. It's the wow, what is it, man?
Yeah, because there is something getting lost in translation with.
You have to be able to look at the dream and understand it's a dream. Okay?
Exactly. Yeah, that's pretty much. Yeah, I think that's the best way we're gonna be able to explain it. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, you have to be able to just open your mind and go, well, this is how this is. Okay.
Yeah.
You know?
Just go with
it. Stop worrying so much about it. Don't even worry about the plot itself.
Don't worry about plot or plot holes. Like
it's all just about cancer anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
The whole movie's just about cancer. Yeah, it's just cancer sucks. Except sometimes you get a holographic Charizard.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes cancer's okay.
Sometimes cancer's okay when it makes a fucking
when it makes your blood all shiny.
Yeah, cherry tree, deers, and stuff like that.
It is not okay when it makes faceless bears.
I'm against that one.
Absolutely. I am against faceless bears.
I'm not a fan.
Well, I think we can agree. Great movie.
Wonderful fucking movie. The haters can just
you can go hate.
You can go
over
hate.
there.
You know, hate
away
over
from
there.
me.
You know?
Yeah, that's fine. Or in the comments. Hate in the comments.
Go watch Birds of Prey, asshole.
All right. So guys, as always, you can check us out on Spotify, Anchor, and YouTube. Give us a shout in the comments. Let us know if there's anything that you would specifically like us to cover. What are we covering next week, Philip?
Oh man, one of my favorites.
Yeah. What would that be?
I asked for no salt on my margarita, and when it came, there were huge grains of salt.
There you go, guys. If you can figure out what this movie is from that, I don't know. We'll shout your name out on the show. That's it. We'll
give you a thumbs up.
That's right. You'll be a cool guy. Don't you want to be a cool guy?
People are gonna comment after the next episode comes out, and then we're gonna have to retroactively stitch it into the last episode.
Yeah,
it's an endless loop of a problem.
Yeah.
Oh man, Scott, you made a time loop.
I'm good at those. I do them all the time, man. I'm kind of sick of them at this point. Anyways, guys. So, Philip, final thoughts?
Yeah, he thought he had the high ground.
All right, guys. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.